The National Sporting Goods Association presents a guide to reopening small businesses, COVID-19. Big picture. Please be advised that these guidelines will not apply to every situation or state. NSGA recommends that each business checks with their local and state representatives to be aware of all the guidelines that could impact the ability of establishments to reopen. Having a plan in place prior to reopening will help smooth the transition for both team members and guests. Some things to consider when drafting your plan are: how will you assess cleaning, staffing, and safety policies and practices? How will you implement protocols to limit the spread of COVID-19? Although you cannot guarantee the virus will not spread once you reopen, you should review all scheduling options and carefully consider the health of your employees. Have you developed a response plan if an employee contracts COVID-19? Included in this plan should be notifying government agencies, contact tracing protocols, and how long the employee should remain away from work. With the rise of COVID-19 cases around the world, it is essential that the health and safety of guests and team members is front and center in efforts to reopen. Some policies and procedures to consider are providing or reimbursing employees for face masks or PPE necessary for work, screening measures for employees, including temperature and symptom checks, ensuring that hand sanitizer is available at store entrances and checkouts for customer and employee use. Be mindful that a top priority for both customers and team members is the cleanliness of your establishment. It is vital to establish a cleaning program for regular store sanitizing and making sure that frequently touched surfaces have been disinfected. This includes shopping carts and baskets, door and drawer handles, light switches, shared tools, including things like price guns and box cutters, frequently touched communal surfaces such as time clocks, cash registers, touch screens, keyboards, mouse, pin pads, checkout counters. And don't forget all the touch points in the bathroom, including door handles and flush levers, toilet bowls and toilet paper holders, sinks and faucets, as well as paper towel holders and air dryers. It is important your customers are aware of changes in policy and store capacity. Store accommodations for COVID-19 will also impact outdoor spaces like parking lots, sidewalks, and store entrances. These irregularities may require temporary or permanent updates as customers look to reduce interaction with others. Some modifications that can be made are designating outside queue lines. Many states are limiting the number of people allowed in the store at once. This may result in guests having to wait to enter the establishment. By providing a clear outside queue line, staff can aid in maintaining social distancing requirements, as well as providing an enjoyable experience for customers waiting in line. Allowing for customers to order online and pick up in store facilitates limited public contact and expedites the shopping experience. In order to increase awareness of this service, consider adding dedicated parking spaces or designating a marked area for customers to pick up their orders while limiting exposure. Increase the use of signage both on the exterior and throughout the store to clearly communicate new store shopping patterns, social distancing requirements, as well as store policy changes. If your store is operating on limited hours or is temporarily closed, include signage that can be used to redirect customers to a website or to inform customers of current store hours. The COVID-19 pandemic has impacted the way that businesses will operate going forward, and that is no different when it comes to point of sale. This is where the majority of in-person interactions take place. It is essential to try to create a contactless point of sale experience when possible. Some ways to do that include providing a temporary, clear plexiglass barrier between cashiers and guests. This adds a layer of protection against the spread of germs and viruses. To avoid contact between guests and staff, consider adding or increasing the number of self-checkout kiosks. This not only reduces the likelihood of person-to-person contact, but it is also providing a customer convenience. Make sure to keep sanitizing wipes available at self-checkouts to keep all surfaces disinfected between use. Consider a more tech-savvy approach by adding touch-free payment options through mobile payment systems or store apps. This allows for reduced touch points and will improve the customer checkout experience. Make clear and visible social distancing signage. Strategically place signs in high-traffic areas as a reminder for guests to maintain social distancing requirements and to limit surface touching. Space out cashiers and promote social distancing by increasing the distance between point-of-sale stations and customers while waiting in line. Looking for additional resources? Make sure to check out the NSGA COVID-19 information and resource page to stay up to date on state-by-state reopening policies as well as general COVID-19 business resources.